to school with him. My mama was so scared for me to even be involved with him.
Lil Wayne sued Birdman for $51 million, called himself a prisoner, and then had his tour bus shot up right in the middle of the fallout. Juvenile walked away from a quadruple platinum run, sued Cash Money, and said the contract was so bad he wouldn't see royalties for years. After years of alleged mismanagement, unpaid money, and broken promises, rappers from every era are now speaking out about why they really hate Birdman. Lil Wayne, you'll want to talk about a situation that broke the hearts of hip-hop fans worldwide? Let's start with the most devastating one of them all, the beef between Lil Wayne and Birdman. For those who don't know the history, Wayne met Birdman when he was just a young in the streets of New Orleans. Baby became like a father figure to the kid, taking him under his wing and signing him to Cash Money Records when Wayne was only about 9 or 11 years old. And look, Wayne himself has spoken on just how deep Birdman's reputation ran in those New Orleans streets. This wasn't just some record label executive.
New Orleans, you know, that name way before there was rap, before there was a Cash Money Records, that name held weight.
Right.
You know, my mama went to school with him.
Right.
My mama was so scared for me to even be involved with him.
Wow.
You know what I mean? All she would say was like, boy, that boy was 14 with $1 million. Like, ain't nobody, I don't know how you got it. That was 14, I don't know. She was scared.
So we're talking about a man whose name held weight in them streets before rap was even a thing for him. Wayne's biological father left and his stepfather was killed. So Birdman stepped in as that father figure. They were so close that pictures of them kissing on the lips circulated, which Birdman always described as a father-son gesture. That's how tight they were. Fam. But fast forward to 2014 and everything between Wayne and Baby fell apart. The issue: Wayne claimed Birdman was holding his album, The Carter V, hostage, not paying him advances he was owed, and basically keeping him trapped on that label like a prisoner. Wayne had launched Young Money Entertainment as a Cash Money imprint back in 2005, signing stars like Drake and Nicki Minaj under their joint venture. Cash Money owned 51% of Young Money, while Wayne held 49%. This structure promised share profits, but swayed seeds for future disputes. Wayne went to Twitter on December 4th, 2014, and let the world know, I won off this label and nothing to do with these people. But unfortunately, it ain't that easy. I am a prisoner and so is my creativity. And yo, that tweet shook the culture because we're talking about Wayne, the dude who made Cash Money what it was during that era. His manager, Cortez Bryant, even posted on Instagram defending Wayne, noting he had carried Cash Money on his back for over 10 years. The situation got so bad that Wayne filed a $51 million lawsuit against Cash Money Records in January 2015, claiming they owed him an $8 million advance for the Carter V, another $2 million for completing the album, and royalties from Young Money artists. He was basically saying Birdman had misappropriated over $70 million from a $100 million Young Money advance that was supposed to go toward royalties and marketing. Wayne even accused Birdman and Universal of conspiracy, saying they used his Young Money profits to cover Birdman's $70 million debt from a $100 million advance. And if that wasn't wild enough, in April 2015, Wayne's tour bus got shot up in Atlanta after the show. Nobody got hurt, thank God, but the incident was allegedly linked to Birdman and Young Thug through phone records. Young Thug affiliate Pee Wee Roscoe was arrested and sentenced to 10 years, though neither Birdman nor Thug was ever charged. Some sources even claim Birdman was trying to replace Wayne with Thug, who originally named the project Carter 6 before changing it to Barter 6. The beef finally got settled in 2018 when Wayne received over $10 million from Universal, gained control of his music, and was freed from Cash Money. The Carter V finally dropped that September and debuted with 480,000 units. They eventually reconciled publicly, hugging at Club Live, Birdman posting me and my son on Instagram, even an unstaged apology at Liliana Fest. But man, for a minute there, it looked like a father-son relationship had been permanently destroyed over some bread. Juvenile. Before Wayne's situation even popped off, we had Juvenile showing everybody that Cash Money had a pattern. This man was one of the biggest artists on that label, dropping classics like 400 Degrees, which went quadruple platinum in 1998, and hits like Ha and Back That Ass Up that still get played at cookouts to this day. His follow-ups, The G Code went double platinum, Project English went platinum, and You the Great also went platinum with Slow Motion, featuring Soulja Slim topping the Hot 100. But here's the thing about how Juvenile even ended up at Cash Money in the first place. After parting ways with Warlock Records over creative differences, Juvie wanted to expand beyond bounce music. He ran into Birdman at a bus stop in New Orleans. Birdman was impressed by Juvenile's freestyle and introduced him to producer Manny Fresh. A key factor in Juvenile's decision was an existing rap rivalry, Cash Money's beef with Master P.S. No Limit Records, particularly involving No Limit artist Mystical, pushed Juvenile toward Birdman. But in the early 2000s, around 12002, Juvenile bounced from Cash Money over financial disputes. He claimed the label wasn't paying him what he was owed and that he discovered through his lawyer that the contract was so poorly handled that he wouldn't be receiving royalty checks for years. According to Juvie, Cash Money was using a criminal lawyer to handle entertainment deals, and that just wasn't cutting it. The contracts were messed up, filings were botched, and artists were getting beat in legal matters. In interviews, Juvenile broke it down, saying it wasn't personal beef. Wasn't no personal, I don't like this guy. It was strictly business mishandlings. But still, he accused Birdman and Slim of benefiting disproportionately, while he, Turk, and BG got scammed out of their earnings. He even sued Cash Money in 2003 for unpaid royalties, reportedly seeking $4 million, but settling for $11 million, according to some sources. Publicly, Juvenile vowed to punish the label financially and criticized Birdman for tarnishing his character. Birdman fired back in interviews, calling Juvenile a failure, whose solo career underperformed, and even claiming Juvenile left threatening voicemails. The beef got personal real quick. BG. Now, BG, this man is a legend in that New Orleans scene. One of the original Hot Boys signed to Cash Money at just 12 years old back in 1992 alongside an 11-year-old Lil Wayne. He gave us Bling Bling, the song that literally added a word to the dictionary and helped define that whole late 90s era with albums like Chopper City in the Ghetto in 1999. His contributions helped Cash Money secure that massive $30 million distribution deal with Universal Records in 1998. But just like the others, BG left Cash Money in the early 2000s amid money disputes, claiming he received nothing for contributions to around 80 records. He specifically stated he never received royalty checks for his pre-998 albums. In 2001, BG, Juvenile, and Turk all exited Cash Money amid claims of shady accounting and unpaid royalties. They sued and settled, returning in 2003, but the experience left lasting resentment. BG spent over a decade in prison on gun charges, arrested in 2009, sentenced to 14 years in 2012, serving 11 before his release on September 5, 2023. During incarceration, BG felt unsupported by the label, amplifying resentment over historical unpaid funds. But when he came home, Birdman was actually there to greet him, gifting him a Cash Money chain and allegedly $1 million. But here's the thing, BG had actually made a diss record toward Cash Money while he was dealing with his feelings. In January 2024, BG featured on Finesse 2 Times Gangstafied, where he even dissed Lil Wayne for not sending money while he was locked up. Everybody thought that was going to cause major problems with the whole Cash Money camp. But peep what BG said about why Birdman forgave him for that diss track.
I know Birdman. I know him.
Man, Birdman raised me, bro. You heard me? You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
Like, you know, that's like a father figure to me. You know what I'm saying? Him and Slim. You know what I mean? I got the utmost love for him. The
love
utmost,
that.
Respect for him.
BG explained that when he gets in his feelings, he spaces out in the booth. It's emotional venting, speaking from the heart, and it just comes out. But Birdman understood that because their history runs so deep. BG talked about how his mama's house was a stash house back in the 80s. These dudes go way back. Turk. Now, if you want to talk about somebody who has been vocal about his issues with the Cash Money situation, we got to talk about Hot Boy Turk. This man has been going back and forth with Birdman, and even his own former group mates for years now. And unlike BG, Turk's situation with Cash Money is far from resolved. Turk was discovered by Birdman at age 13 and joined Cash Money alongside the others forming the Hot Boys. Their debut Get It How You Live in 1997 sold 400,000 copies, and Guerrilla Warfare in 1999 topped the Billboard R&B hip-hop chart and reached number 5 on the Billboard 200. But by 2003, Turk left Cash Money along with Juvenile and BG over unpaid royalties. He claimed he received zero compensation for contributions to about 80 records. Turk spent almost a decade in prison after a 2004 arrest in a drug raid involving a SWAT shootout, getting sentenced to 14 years, but serving nearly 9 before his 2012 release. And here's what made Turk feel some type of way. When he got out, Birdman didn't even acknowledge his release, unlike when BG came home to a Cash Money chain and allegedly $1 million. That silence spoke volumes. In 2015, Turk filed a lawsuit against Cash Money for rights to his music and damages exceeding $1 million, citing void contracts due to poor accounting. That case settled out of court for about $1, $3 million, which Turk later described as severance that excluded publishing rights. He briefly resigned with Cash Money in 2016, but nothing came of it. The real drama came more recently with the Hot Boys reunion attempts. Turk was supposed to be part of the 2025 30th anniversary tour, but things went left real quick. Repeat, what happened when Turk refused to take a pay cut?